All right, awesome. Okay, welcome everybody to tonight's Team Aftershots call. Yeah, so tonight I'm talking about May and how to have an awesome May. So first of all, the topic of May. Sorry. So first of all, on the topic of May, if you haven't already watched the video by Danielle Natoni and Tanya Barron, they both did videos today on the Beachbody Champions page. Danielle was talking about Insanity Max 30 because she like helps create Insanity live routines and stuff. So she's like a total Insanity expert. And Tanya, who is the size expert and helps create size live routines, was talking about size. And so I watched both of their videos. They were both like less than 30 minutes each. And I've done both the programs and I still like got a lot out of those videos. So I think that, so I think everybody should watch those just because it'll just help give you like talking points, like, or you'll be able to talk about those programs since they're on sale this month, with your customers, even if you've not done them, even if you have done them. I've done both those programs. I've done Insanity Max 30 like twice, and I'm like addicted to size, and I still got like quite a bit of information that I wasn't aware of out of those videos. Like, for example, did you know that if you purchase the size base kit, you have access to the 6 advanced routines in your Beachbody On Demand? I didn't know that. I have 6 new size routines in Beachbody On Demand that I need to go master now. I had no idea. I was so excited. My day's made. So anyways, so that's a good point. So anyways, the May 23rd challenge group is going to be kind of focused. Like, I'm going to create the event page. Hopefully I get around to doing it tomorrow. And that's going to be kind of the focus, is like size and Insanity Max 30. Of course, like any program will go, but I was thinking like you make like a pretty fun theme based on that. I suck at coming up with names, so I'm kind of stuck at that. So if you have any ideas for like a name for that, let me know, because I'm kind of like totally stuck. But yeah, so I'll start May 23rd. And so that's kind of just sort of side note stuff about how to make the most of May. Get the extra information about these programs. I honestly hope that this is going to be something that they start to do like every month for the programs that are on special, like actually have somebody who is like an expert in that, like make a video or whatever, share a live, whatever, chat about it. Okay, so for me, so basically what I want to talk about tonight is, okay, so I have been totally consistent in my business since the beginning of the year. Like, I've not taken a week off. Like, even when we went away to Radium in the middle of March there, I still, like, we went to the coffee house every day, and I still made sure I got, at least 3 new friends and 3 invites and Instagram messages done and everything. So I've been totally consistent since the beginning of the year. I haven't slowed down. April, my income took a dip and I didn't hit Success Club. And I was like, what the heck? But so that was 2 days ago that I didn't hit Success Club. And as you can imagine, like, that's pretty frustrating, especially when typically in the past when I've missed Success Club or whatever, I'm able to kind of look back and be like, well, in February I didn't really do that much, or in March I kind of slacked off, or, I've been able to kind of look back and be like, that's why I missed that. And for this month, it wasn't anything super obvious like that for me, like, because I have been consistent. I have my Power 3 document to prove it. Like, I've not taken any time off, and I've been having my coaching conversations. I didn't sign up a single coach in April, which was like, I think the first time in 3 years that I've gone a whole month without signing up a single coach. That might not totally be true. I might have gone a month at some point in the last 3 years without signing up a coach, but it's been a really long time since I've not signed up a single coach in 1 month. And so I was just kind of like, I don't know what the heck. And so So the first thing that I want you guys to notice here is that that was just 2 days ago that I missed Success Club, and that the month ended and I didn't sign up to coach. And I moved on like super fast. Like I spent some time reflecting and figuring out what was I missing? Where could it possibly have gone wrong? Because there's always something. Results don't lie, right? Like that's the thing. So it can't ever be like, I don't know, this doesn't work, because I know that this works, because this worked for me in the past. And so there had to have been something that I was doing differently. And so I needed to realize that. So that's the first thing. If you miss a goal and you're like feeling frustrated because you've like failed at something, you miss a goal, whatever, just realize that that's like yours to take ownership on. Like there is something there that you missed, or that you did, or that you didn't do, or that you could have done better. And so realize that, because you need to have that sort of mindset so that you can move on, and don't sit there and feel bad for yourself for too long, because you're just going to lose time. So I literally, like 10 p.m. my time is like the cutoff for the end of the month. So I was like pushing until 10 p.m. for those last Success Club point. And then as soon as it was 10:01, I was like, okay, I'm moving on to planning May. Like I did not spend any time sitting here feeling sorry for myself, because it's just a waste of time. It wasn't going to get me anywhere. So basically what I realized had happened last month, I don't know. I had grown very complacent. That's what I realized it was. And then I actually found a really good quote. It's funny how you come across these things just at the right time, that like perfectly describes kind of what I feel like I went through. And that is, success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure. Only the paranoid survive. And that's Andy Grove that said that. So success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure, and only the paranoid survive. And that's pretty much literally, and that's what's happened to me. I think about that, and this isn't the first time that I became complacent. Anytime I've like hit any sort of goal, that's happened to me, right? So like the month after I went diamond, I didn't get Success Club because I was just like, you just kind of sit back and whatever. So that's basically what I came up with. That was like the biggest thing. That was what happened. And you, like, I could tell, because in April, it was like little things like, I always kind of make sure before, like, actually it was in like March that I started getting into this other bad habit. But before, I always like had my little office space here in the bedroom, so I can be like in here and like focused, and there's no distractions and stuff. In like about middle of March or so, and like through all of April, I was sitting on the couch working. That's where my desk was all day. And so I was sitting on the couch, and The Office was on in the background, which is like one of the most distracting shows to have on in the background, because the jokes are too good and you have to like look at it. You can't just sit there and listen to it. No matter how hard I try, I just can't sit and listen to it. And I knew that, but I just kept doing it anyways, because I was just kind of like, and I don't know, I think like part of like that complacency is that you just you get kind of like arrogant, kind of like cocky, like, I got this. Like, I don't really need to be putting my all into this anymore, because I got this. And you really don't got this, apparently, which you learn later on. So it was like little things like that like I could have realized a lot earlier on, like this is going down a bad path, to be sitting on the couch distracted by the TV instead of actually like focusing like I was before. So I came up with like 4 things that if you're like, you're kind of like me, and you're like, I've been showing up like consistently. I feel like I've been doing my personal development, because that's the thing too. I've been doing that consistently. I've been listening to it all the time. Jackie would be proud of me, because I started listening to it even in the shower. And like I've been doing all that. Obviously, I'm doing my workouts. You guys see that. And so I'm still like doing the vital behaviors all the time. So if you're kind of feeling like that and it's not getting the results that you want, what I discovered from my own failure last month is that there's a little bit more to it. And it's really, I just kind of refer to it quite a bit about like, if you feel like you're just going through the motions and you're not really actually like putting much feeling into anything that you're doing, then it's not going to get you much results. So the first thing that I came up with is that if you've been disengaged at all, you want to get engaged again. So that means like if you have been absent from team pages, like Team Victory All-Stars, Snapshots, even like the TVAS Invite Like a Boss group, I feel like that group used to be super active, and now like nobody hardly, not nobody, like still a couple people usually will post in there, but yeah, like I feel like hardly, and it's like way down. The activity in there is like way lower than it used to be, and then Anna noticed that the activity in that group's gone down, and all of a sudden the recruitment number's gone down, and the volume's gone down, and everything in Team Victory All-Stars. So there's something to be said about being engaged with the team pages, because being a part of the team is like such a huge, it's a huge part to this. Like you guys, like those of us that have been super engaged in this, and those of us who have, especially those of us that have been around for a bit longer and have already like met each other, like we've been to events and stuff like that, like you realize like how amazing it is to be a part of the team. But if you're not actually engaging with the team and talking, you know, with people, getting to know the people on the team and stuff, which is not a forced thing, by the way. You don't have to like try and force a conversation with somebody on the team. It just comes naturally by you actually posting and commenting and participating in the team page. But if you're not doing that, you're not getting the benefit of being on a team. And being a part of the team, like being a part of something bigger than you, is what's going to ultimately push you through the rough patches, because you're going to have rough patches. You're going to have times where you're feeling frustrated, you want to quit, you want whatever. And so you need to make sure that you have that engagement and that you're on the team page, like posting and commenting. And what it also does for you is it'll help build your confidence. So if you're on the team page and you're just sharing, like just, you know, if you come across something that you think is awesome that another coach posted, share it to the team page. If there's somebody posts in the team page like a question, or they're not sure about something and you think you know the answer, answer it. Even if you're not 100% certain, answer it anyways. If you're wrong, somebody will correct you. If you're not 100% certain, maybe just, you know, include that and say like, I think blah, 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 but I could be wrong. Because the thing is that you're probably more often right than you even think you would be. So it's going to build your confidence though, to be able to like share something that you found value in, to the team page, and then have people comment on it and say, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I needed to see that today. It builds your confidence. It makes you feel really good. And so that's kind of the benefits of engaging in the team pages. As well as like being like on team calls like this. So Team Victory All-Stars calls, Team Victory calls. Mike Ryan is now consistently doing his Team Victory calls on Monday nights again. So I'm going to be looking at switching the Team Aftershots calls. I'm thinking maybe later in the week, like a Wednesday or Thursday, because we definitely like never have anything on those nights. And I feel like it's missing. Like I feel like we have the National Wake Up Call on Monday, and then now the Team Victory Call is going to be every Monday night. If Anna ever does a call, it's Sunday. So we have all this stuff to motivate us and pump us up at the beginning of the week. And then by the end of the week, it just kind of fizzles away until Monday comes around again. So just stay tuned for that. Just because like I do feel like we should be on the Team Victory calls now that he's doing them, because he has so much knowledge. And this month he's actually talking about how to make money with the business and stuff. So it's something that I think everybody would benefit from listening to. And I'm really bad for like, if I don't catch a call live, there's not a very good chance I'm going to listen to the recording. That's just me. That's just like honesty, right? So I feel like I'm probably not the only one that's like that. So I don't want people like missing Mike Ryan's calls because they're on here. And so anyways, that's kind of, I'm going on a tangent, but that's part of being engaged with the team. So that's the first thing, is get back engaged with the team if you've been disengaged from the team. The second thing is your personal development. So maybe you're like me and you're like, I don't know, I've still been like listening to it like in the car and when I'm cooking dinner and when I'm doing laundry. I listen to like so much audio all these times when I'm doing other things. So the thing with personal development is absolutely, I say all the time, that you can fit it in whenever. And whenever you're doing something that you have kind of the ability to listen to something in the background, definitely listen to personal development, right? Like I say that all the time, in the car, wherever you can, make use of it. But one of the things, and this was something that hit me when I was on the getting the most out of your personal development call that Danae and Tandy, I think it was, did that call. Anyways, this is on Team Victory All-Stars. And this hit me because this is what they said, is that, yes, it's great to listen to all your personal development, whatever, but you should be spending at least 15 minutes a day of like focused personal development. So that's not listening in the background while you're doing other things. That is like, okay, I'm sitting here reading a book. Or for me, I find that I do get more out of listening. That's me personally. So, and then also I do so for my focused personal development time, and this has just started because this Get the Most Out of Personal Development call was just like last week. But so for my focused personal development time, I listen to the audio, but then I take notes as I'm listening to it. So you're obviously just going to get a lot more out of it if you're actually like really listening to it and taking notes and coming up with kind of like action items to do from that you're going to work on. So if you're kind of like, well, I don't know, what should I be listening to when it's just in the background and whatnot? Basically, background personal development is just for the stuff that you already know, the stuff that you're probably already like kind of good at. It's just kind of like subconscious stuff. Like it's stuff that's just going to kind of reinforce what you already know. For your focused personal development that you're like sitting there and you're like reading or you're listening and you're taking notes, that's the stuff that is a part of your personal growth plan, which is something that I talked about, I think at the beginning of this year or whatever on one of these calls. Basically, that's just like, where do you need growth the most right now in your life? Like, what are you struggling with the most that you need to work on? And then that is your focused personal development. That's the stuff where you're actually sitting down, you're listening, you're engaged, you're doing all that stuff. So that is something that I stopped doing because I even at the beginning of the year, I was kind of having my focused personal development time, not with like taking notes and stuff. Well, I kind of took some notes from it, I guess, but just I would read first thing in the morning and I would actually sit and read. And that's what I was doing at that time. And then the freaking office started somehow turning on my TV in the morning and I was getting distracted by that again. This is all the office's fault. Anyways, so that's something that I kind of gradually, and I felt okay about letting go of like that focused reading in the morning because I was still listening to lots of audio throughout the day, every day. So it should have been fine, but don't underestimate that. Like that makes a big difference if you're not getting at least that 15 minutes of like where you're actually focusing on it and you're not, other things aren't going on around you. Like that's what you're doing in that moment. It's huge. So that's the second thing to check and start doing if you're not doing already. So the third thing comes down to the invites. All these things have to do with vital behaviors. So once again, like I say, I was consistently inviting. I was consistently sharing the business. I never like took the time off from that. The biggest thing that I'll say with the invites, and what's funny is that this is something that I remember saying. I remember saying quite a bit on the last couple team calls, I feel like, where like your intention when you're talking to somebody can't be just, a number. It can't just be like a Success Club point or, a commission dollar or I need to fill in this square on my Power of 3 document. So I'm going to send this message to this person so I can put their name there. Your intention really needs to be to connect with the person and help the person. And this is the other area that I grew very complacent in the last year. The last month or month and a half or so. I literally was just like, okay, because I made a promise to myself basically at the beginning of the year that every week my Power of 3 document was going to be complete, meaning at least 3 names, 5 days a week in each category. So yeah, that was like the promise I made to myself at the beginning of this year. So as I was like growing a bit more complacent in my business, I was like, okay, well, I have to get these names in here. So I was just adding people like that. They weren't any sort of target audience of mine. It was just like, so I'm a part of the Miracle Morning group on Facebook. I don't know if some of you guys probably are as well. And they have every now and then they have like a post to like add friends. And so whoever likes your post, you add friends or whatever. And so I've added like a ton of friends from there. I think like 50 friends. And so that was, you know, a while ago that happened. But when I was like sitting there, not really overly putting a ton of effort or energy into figuring out how am I going to find new people, but just looking at my Power of 3 document and going, I need to put names in here. I was just kind of going through my people that I've added to or from the Miracle Morning. And I have like seriously like 40 friends in common with all these people from the Miracle Morning. And I was just going and sending friend requests to them because I was like, well, they're from there. And so they've added all these people from there. So they obviously like are open to accepting friend requests from strangers. However, the thing is that these people like, okay, sure, I would check their profile, make sure they're not already Beachbody coaches, but there's a bunch of Beachbody coaches that they're friends with that are in the Miracle Morning already. And so it's not like, that's not a target. Like that's not, you know, really who I want to be friending on Facebook, right? And then it also just got kind of annoying because most of them had something that they were trying to sell me. So it was just kind of like, these aren't my people. But I was just trying to fill in a name. And that was my intention with that. And it got that job done. But now I'm, you know, through April and whatever, now I'm paying for it, right? Because it wasn't a targeted thing. And then also like, so then when you're inviting people, that's like adding new friends, starting new conversations or whatever. When you're actually inviting people, once again, like the intention needs to be to help them, right? So if you're sending like a cold invite, like you should not be getting anywhere near the point of sending an ordering link until you at least have an idea of if this program's gonna actually help them, right? Because if your intent is to help them, then that's just how that'll go, right? So I'm not saying anything wrong with cold invites. They are sometimes great because they kind of get to the point a lot faster. But what I'm saying is that then when they respond and they say, yeah, sure, I'd love more information, I might give them a little brief thing about like, we're going to be doing these workouts at 30 minutes a day. You're going to check into this group on Facebook and have one-on-one coaching from me. Can I first just ask you a few questions to figure out like if this, you know, challenge or this program or whatever will actually be a good fit for you. I always do that. And sometimes it's frustrating because sometimes people start ignoring me at that point. But the thing is that they probably were going to ignore me anyways, especially if I sent the next message saying, oh, it's going to cost you $140 and this is what it is, right? They're going to for sure ignore you then. At least this way, in the future, they might still be curious about what it is you're talking about. But so you have to have that intention. And then like the other thing with talking to people and invites and stuff like that is if you should be trying to make a genuine connection with at least one person a day. So yes, there's a power in numbers. Yes, you want to, you know, keep up with your Power of 3 numbers and stuff like that. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, just, you know, if you invite one person 5 days a week, that'll get you success, love, because we all know that it takes more than that, because then, you know, there's the invite and then there's like, are they actually going to respond to the invite? And then are they actually going to keep responding throughout the whole invite process? And then are they actually going to commit? And so you obviously need to be sending more invites in that. But if that's your intent and you just kind of like go on this mission to like, okay, yes, I'm going to do my Power of 3, but I really want to find a genuine connection with somebody today. I really want to make like a new friend today. Then it's just your conversation's gonna flow totally differently. Like that's what I've found. My conversations in the last like month and a half or so have sucked mostly because they're so sporadic too, because I'm just like, okay, gotta get in, get my messages done and get out. And then I go back like more than 24 hours later after they like responded to me right away. And it's like more than 24 hours later. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's time to reply to my messages now. Maybe they'll join me. And it's like, it's not going very good, right? Whereas whenever my intention is to actually add value to people and help people, I'm replying to messages. I'm sitting down to my inbox, you know, more than once a day. And I'm not making people wait, because there's also something to be said about going like when people are excited, and excitement will wear off. So that's the other issue there. Like, and I've had that happen like more than ever in the last month. Somebody that like, you know what, I do the back and forth very slow, question and answer thing. And then I tell them what the program and the details, and they go, yeah, I'm pumped. And then it's like more than a day later, I'm finally saying, okay, great, here's where you order. But at that point, they're kind of like, meh. And then it's like they don't order because they're not excited anymore, So that's kind of the curse when it comes to running a business on social media and via messaging people back and forth. Because if you were face-to-face or on the phone, obviously you could really feed off of that excitement, right? But it's just something to keep in mind. Don't let the inbox control you. That's also, I feel like I need to throw that in there because that's something that a lot of people fall into. That's a trap. So do schedule, fit it into your day, figure out when you're going to reply to messages, but it should for sure be at least more than once a day. And if you got to gauge the conversation. So if it's like a really active forming conversation, you're having a conversation back and forth, don't let it go stale, right? So just kind of keep that in mind too. So yeah, I think that was that for the invites. And then the fourth thing, which is something that I guess I kind of fell off of, but not any more than usual. But I wanted to include this in here because I know this is something that other people do fall. This is where they kind of slack off to or become complacent in, is actually committing to a program and eating right. So actually living the healthy, fit lifestyle. My nutrition's been was worse than ever in the last bit. So yeah, I guess I did grow complacent in that area as well. But yeah, so if you're not doing the workouts and you're not, eating right and drinking your shake and stuff like that, then that obviously is going to show as well. It's going to show in your business. It's going to show on your social media. It's going to show everywhere. And I guess that's another area where people tend to grow complacent is in their social media posts. So I didn't even write that one down, but I'm going to throw that in there as well too. Make sure that you are putting the intention behind those posts of who are you talking to and those sorts of things. So yeah, so that's kind of all the things. As you can see, it's wow, I did kind of screw up quite a bit last month. But at first glance, it looked like I was doing all the stuff. So it's just kind of a self-check and just kind of realize that, you know what, yes, it does ultimately come down to the power of three, how many people you're talking to, and those sorts of things. But you also have to have the right intention behind it and, make sure that you're adding the right people from your target market. For example, if you're I'm starting all these conversations and nobody's committing, then you're probably finding the easy friends to add and the easy people to invite. I was with the Miracle Morning people. None of those Miracle Morning people ever have joined anything. And I started adding them back in January, and it's they're just kind of awkward to talk to. I don't even really talk to them because it's we have nothing in common. So it's just so yeah, so that's just kind of a good self-check there too. If you're sending all those messages, you're sending a bunch of invites and adding a bunch of friends and you're getting nobody to join you, it's obviously you need to find a new market to be, finding people in, right? Okay, so that's the end of that. So I just wanted to now touch a little bit on the main mashup. I swear to God, I'm going to upgrade my Zoom account soon. I promise. So it doesn't cut me off. But I have 8 minutes, so I think that's all I need for this. So for the main mashup, I'm super excited for it. I think everybody on here is already on a team, I think, or not on a team yet because I haven't paired people up. We have an odd number of people. So if you or any of your coaches want to join, you should get them to join. But anyway, so basically the main mashup idea came to me because I was just trying to think of a way. Like I say, engagement in the team page is at an all-time low. Even these team calls now, it's there's nobody on here anymore. And so I'm just kind of I know that if nobody's engaging in the team page, and yeah, okay, it's more obvious in team after shots because there's it's literally just us. But even in Team Victory All-Stars, I'm seeing less and less people from this team actually on there. And so I was kind of how will I get people engaged again? Because I know, like I say, that's a huge part of, succeeding in this business is realizing you're not going at it alone and, teaming up and cheering people on and feeling like you have a place to go to talk with the team pages and, those sorts of things. Right. So that's what kind of brought this up. And then I was kind of like, I don't know what I do. So anyways, so I was like, okay, well, it'll need a prize, whatever I'm doing, because I know that like, I think the majority of our team is kind of like motivated by prizes, especially when it's like actually a good prize. So yeah, so I'm going to be giving the winning team, the one with the most points, each a $25 Amazon gift card. And that will be in Canadian dollars. So if you live in the US, it will be probably like $100 for you. Not 100, but anyways, it'll be more. It'll be significantly more than $25. But anyways, so yeah, so then I was like, okay, so I came up with that. And then I was like, okay, so I was thinking, okay, Team Cup always fires people up, and it's good, I think, for getting people engaged as if like they actually are connecting with somebody. So that's where that all came to. So just really quick, and I'll do a post about this for those that aren't on the call, but basically going into May to get the most out of this whole experience, it's all up to you, right? So I'm going to pair you up with your partner, but you can't put anything on them. So you can't have an attitude of, well, they didn't check in with me today and they said they would, so yes, this partnership's done. Because that's going to just lead to failure for both of you guys. You guys need to be there for each other, right? So if they say, oh, I'm going to check on with you at this time on this day, and then they're not there, guess what? You're their success partner. You should be like nagging at them, like, hey, where are you? What are you doing, right? And it'll be a two-way street. And that's the other thing. And so basically, when you guys get partnered up, your initial conversation should cover your goals for the month of May, so that you guys know like where you're at. Depending if you guys don't know each other at all, you know, an introduction, I guess, about what's going on. And then also you want to set expectations. That's right off the bat. Set expectations with each other. If you don't set an expectation for something, say that you're like, I expect, like you're thinking in your mind, I expect that my partner is going to check in with me every single day, asking my accountability, whatever. But you don't tell your partner that that's what you expect of them. They're not mind readers, so if they never do, you can't be upset about that, right? So set your expectations up front. You start by asking them, like, okay, so what do you need from me? Like, what do you need daily accountability from me? Do you need whatever? And then you also, another good question to ask is, what do you want me to do if I notice that you're starting to slip? Do you want me to like call you out and just be like, hey, I see that you're slipping. You told me this was your goal and you're doing this instead. Like, do you want me to call you out, or do you want me to kind of back off? Like, set those expectations on the front end, because then also if one of you does start to slip, you have that conversation, then you don't have to feel guilty about calling them out, because they told you that you can, and that was expected. And then also, of course, you share with them what they need from you, what you need from them in the month. And then also, I will post, like when I pair up the partners, I'll post like a document that says like, this is how many points you're getting for each thing or whatever. So then you guys also want to set a team point goal for the team, and just, you know, be realistic about it, but make sure it's a bit of a push for you guys. And then, yeah. And then as far as throughout the month, I would recommend like checking in daily. You guys should be like chatting on Messenger or whatever every day, or text, or whatever works better for you. Phone, I don't know. Does anybody like phone call people? I don't do that anymore. I don't know. Maybe that works for somebody. But you should be checking in daily, and then once a week or so, getting on the phone or on Zoom or whatever works better, and actually having a conversation. And I would say even like your initial conversation where you're talking about goals and what you need from the other person, expectations, all that stuff should be over the phone. And it's all up to you guys. I'm not going to be any part of your partnerships. Like, you guys are getting partnered up, and then you guys are off running with your team, and you're doing the different things that you get points assigned for and stuff. And I'll just be checking in every day and tallying up the points, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's basically what it's going to be. I'm pretty excited about it, because it's kind of like a little team cup, but it's not all based off Success Club points, and you know, how many coaches you're signing up, right? Because I think it's so key to set goals that you have control over. You don't have control over if somebody's going to finally decide that this is the month that they sign up. You don't have control over that. It's great to set a Success Club goal, and like I always do, every month I set a Success Club goal. it's great to set, you know, a rank advancement goal, how many coaches you want to sign up, but you ultimately don't have control over that. You have control over how many conversations you have, how many invites you're sending, how many, you know, those sorts of things. So just kind of keep that in mind when you guys are setting goals. And that's also why the points, you will get points based on like activity throughout the month, not just based on success, but points and stuff like that. So I'm going to take a picture. If Kylie and Tina want to turn their cameras on. And then I think this is like the smallest group ever.
I'm getting my hair done.
Oh, no. Okay, well, your picture looks nice, so I'll just do that. Oh, no, this is awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys.
I'm going to have the whole crew in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Titi is talking business,
I
y'all.
was there.
Say hello.